Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make myself the super popular Linds Handmade H2O Go sling. So I fell in love as soon as Nikki Kinder from Nikki Makes showed her first sneak peek, and I knew I wanted it because I have a million tumblers. It's gonna be perfect to keep my tumblers that are not sealed at the top from spilling. So I definitely needed to treat myself to one. So I figured, in true Alex fashion, why not show you my do's and don'ts by sewing my first ever H2O to go on video. So I mean, you guys can learn from my mistakes, or maybe you find some tips that I have for you that you would like to incorporate in your sewing. As always, I am not a professional bag maker. I don't sew to sell. Everything is done for me and for gifts sometimes. So this video is not meant to replace any videos that the designer makes. It's just for you to know that it is possible to sew this bag and every other project that I've posted as a true beginner and as a hobbyist. So let's get started. The pattern does not have many pieces, and it very interface friendly. It does not really use too much interfacing. So I'm going to use I'm going to use waterproof canvas for my lining and for the card slots in the pattern. So we'll see how that goes. I've never used this before. I'm going to use this gorgeous unicorn mane vinyl from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts, and of course I'm going to pair it with my unicorn mane zipper and with my thread, unicorn mane thread. So I have my Tex 80 already in the machine, but this is the Tex 45. This one is for like domestic machines. The Tex 80 is for industrial machines. I will have a video about these threads and how they work, hopefully this week. So once that video is posted, I'll link it in here. But yeah, this is a set. They were made to coordinate together. So it's gonna be a unicorn mane explosion in my H2O sling. And for the front panel, I'm going to be using this backstitch woven panel. I love the graphic on the woven panel. It fits perfectly here for this little project. So let's get started. First, I went ahead and cut all my pieces according to the pattern. I've interfaced according to the pattern. Wherever I have vinyl, I have not used any interfacing. Same for where I have waterproof canvas. There's no interfacing on that. The only interfacing with woven interfacing that I did is for the actual woven pattern. These are just the two interfacing that I used. I used Decoville Heavy. I think the pattern suggests Peltex or Decoville Light. For me personally, Peltex can be substituted with Decoville Heavy, so I went with my gut and I used Decoville Heavy instead of Light. So let's clear this a little bit, and we're going to start with the zipper part, with the front pocket. As always, up in the corner, I have somewhere around here, I have pictures of the finished bag, so you know which pieces would go where. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment and I will do my best to help you out. It does seem like a rather straightforward, easy project. So I have a yard, I think, of this zipper, so I went ahead and put my 2 zipper pulls on. I'll link my zipper pull video, so you know the difference between nylon zippers and whatnot, and I also show you how to add the double zipper pulls. And I'm going to trim this to 16 inches, making sure that I incorporate my pull and that I have scissors. Man, I usually have 50 scissors laying around, and now I have to go looking for them. 16 inches, and seal your ends with a lighter. This way they don't unravel. My God, these colors are stunning. Alright, so your zipper, oops, I want a little more. I wanted 16. Grab your zipper tabs. You should have 4 pieces of zipper tabs. I use the waterproof canvas as the lining zipper tabs, and then the vinyl for the main. So I'm going to lay one zipper tab like so here, and the other one sandwich it like so. I've sandwiched the zipper to in between the zipper tabs, right sides together. You can of course pin it or clip it in place. And we're sewing this step with a 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I do think the pattern goes from 3/8 to a 1/4 throughout. And we're going to top stitch it. So far, waterproof canvas seems to be rather easy to sew. You can certainly do this pattern on your domestic sewing machine. Just make sure if you use vinyl, you use water-soluble stabilizer in between your presser feet and your I'm just checking to make sure they go in the same direction. Your presser feet and your actual vinyl. Oops. Right sides together with the zipper sandwiched in between. And make sure that your zippers are within your zipper tape, because we all know how easy it is to just seal this and then not have the zipper pulls inside. Let's top stitch like we did on the other side, and keep your pattern pieces close by, because we're going to have to mark, if you have not marked yet, we're going to have to mark the centers beautiful. So your zipper should be a piece like so. Before we attach the zipper to the front pocket, I want to make sure that you all double check that the length of the zipper with the tabs is 19 3/4 of an inch. If it's not, make sure you make any adjustments to the zipper, because I found double checking that my zipper was longer, my piece was longer, so I went ahead and did made sure that the zipper is the correct length. So it needs to be 19.3 1/4 length. Go ahead and take your pattern piece for the main front part and mark your centers. I'm going to do a little snip here at the top and a little snip here at the bottom, and these are my marked points. Find the center of your zipper, well, zipper and zipper panels, And you're going to match that center to the snip you did at the top. And pin it in place. Now I like to pin the other end and then the other end, and then go ahead and pin around it. It's much easier once you've pinned the center and the sides. And of course I'm pinning, and I'm going to be stitching right sides together. You might find it easier to work from the inside towards the zipper. Rather than from the outside. And we're going to stitch this down with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Go slow around the curve to make sure there's no puckers and that you catch all the layers. And move your zipper pulls away. Because I can tell you from personal experience, in the battle between the zipper pull and the needle will lose. The needle will lose. Okay, so this is how it will look like on the outside. Set that aside for now and grab your pocket, the pocket that will go on the lining, and that one will need to be simply folded in half along the long edge with the wrong sides together. So you'll have about a 6-inch piece left. And just top stitch this will create the slip pocket. Easy peasy pocket. These are the easiest pockets to add to any bag, not just this one. Look at this thread. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. Gorgeous. There you go. I love it. And it pops even on gray. Grab your front lining piece. In my case, it should be made with vinyl. And you will add your pocket like so, matching the raw edges. And sew that down or baste it in place, just because it's going to be easier when you attach the zipper if it's basted in place. So you don't have to worry about the layers slitting away. you want to again mark your center, top and bottom. The bottom will marking will be needed when we add the other pieces. For now, we're going to sandwich the zipper in between the front and what is the lining. In my case, it's the vinyl part. So it will have to be, you'll be matching the top centers, the snips that you just made, and then the sides. Make sure that the zipper is away. And now you can sew right on top of the other sewing stitch you've made. This way you know it's the same seam allowance. So this is how it looks like. Wrong side of the woven, wrong side of the vinyl, and the zipper is sandwiched inside. So let's go ahead and stitch all around, and make sure you back stitch at the beginning and at the end. And wherever you feel the zipper pulls, you move them away, as well as your zipper. Go slow around the curve. And move your zipper coils away. That's what I was doing right there. Beautiful. So now we're just going to turn it right side out. To reveal that beautiful zipper. Gorgeous. Of course, I will be giving it a good press when I'm done. Everything looks gorgeous. So I'll go ahead and top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from this folded edge. And let's see how this thread looks against white fabric. So far I've used this thread on against black vinyl, but not against white prints, so it should look really pretty, and it sure does. Absolutely stunning. there you have it. The first part of the project is completed. This is a pocket right in here. And then this is the front. Let's set that aside for now because we need to work on the back part that will have the slot cards. So grab your slot card pattern piece, and we're going to be doing some measurements. Let's start making the marking. So first and foremost, on the top, I folded 6 inches. Measured 6 inches and folded towards the back. All right. So now we're going to start measuring from the top down. First line, it's a 1-inch line. So I measure 1 inch and drew a line. Then the next one is 4.5, and it's a pinch line. So I'm going to be using an orange pen at the 4.5 mark. From the folded line. Oh no, 4.5, it's right here. I'm using my friction pens, so it's easy to erase. And when I press, everything will disappear. Then the next line is at 5 inches, and it's the top edge of the pocket. So I'm going to use blue for that one. And measure 5 inches. Okay, next line, it's 8 5/8. So 8 5/8, and that is an orange line, it's a pinch line. There you go. And then 9 1/8. And this is a blue line. And then 12 3/4. And this is an orange line. So for me, the orange lines are pinch lines. And 13 1/4. And it's a blue. And then one last pinch line at 16 3/4. And that's it. So we have all the markings done. I'm just bringing them all the way to the edge because this is just a 3-inch ruler. So it didn't go all the way. Alright, so now we're gonna start pinching and sewing. Let's start the folding pinching game. So we're going to be pinching the orange lines and bringing them up and bring it, so the first pinch, the first orange line, you line it up with the blue line, the first blue line, the one that was 1 inch from the fold. And you're going to pin this in place. Next, we're going to pinch the orange line, the next one, and line it up with the blue line at the top. And again, pinch in place. Again, we're going to pinch the orange line, like so, and line it up to the blue line at the top. It helps if you have different colors. And one more time, we're going to pinch the orange line and bring it to the blue at the top. And pin in place. So now this should all be about 1/2 inch. And if you look like this, you're going to see just orange lines at the fold. So now you want to sew that in place. I'm going to stitch on the side seam. This is your credit card slot piece. And this is the pattern piece that's called the back of the credit card slot. So we're going to attach the back of the credit card slot to the piece here. And stitch in place, or you can pin it in place. I think this time I'm just going to pin it in place, and I'll stitch them together in my next step, because these are just straight lines. Grab your two side pieces, and we're going to attach these side pieces to the panel part, right sides together. And this step attaches the slots to the back as well. I'm going to go ahead and top stitch towards the vinyl. And repeat, of course, the same thing on the other side. Once you have attached the two sides, go ahead and find the center. And give it a snip. And that center you'll be matching to the template that you have not cut. There's a pattern piece that says do not cut, because we'll be cutting it right now after we've created the pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this piece in place and cut around it. Just want to make sure it's straight. Okay. So now we're going to be creating the back liner pocket. cut around it. And we are ready to add this part to the zipper part. First and foremost, grab your main pattern piece, this one, because this will go here and we'll have the zipper around it. So we'll be using both of those. And then grab the piece that you worked on earlier that has the front and the zipper. Okay, let's add the zipper, the second part of the zipper tape, to the pieces that we've just created. Now it's very important that you lay this piece right side up and the zipper right side up. You don't want to do like Alex and sew them right sides together like the first time. So mark your center of the zipper tape with a pin or with a little snip and match that to the center of the zipper tape that to the center of the back piece. And this will be wrong side of the zipper to the right side of the fabric. Do not put them right sides together. It will not turn out well. You'll be doing a lot of seam ripping. And pin that around. You might find it easier again to pin from the back. Because you want the card slot to be inside the front pocket. So before you stitch, make sure that your front pocket looks correctly, and it does. There's my card slot, there's my pocket, and there's the zipper. So now you're going to sew with 1/4 inch around your zipper. Go slow around the curve. And you might find it easier to work with the zipper open. And take your zipper pulls out of the way. Beautiful. So this is how it should look like right now. So this part, we'll be attaching it to the front, the one that has the little opening, like so, which it has to look like this in the end. So right sides together, find the center of this opening and put a snip. And now this will be laid right sides together to the back. And of course the zipper will be sandwiched in between. And then once again, I'm pinning at the sides. And then I'm pinning around. And we're going to go ahead and stitch right on top of the stitch line that we just did a few seconds ago, making sure that you move your zipper pulls away. I find it to be easier to sew from this side rather than the other side. Not only do I see the first stitch line, but it's easier to maneuver the zipper tape and the curve. Make sure that there's no puckers. In the vinyl, especially since you can't see the vinyl underneath. So this, oops, sorry about that. So this is how it should look like right now. And you want to go ahead and top stitch around. Top stitch around with the seam allowance towards the outside. And then grab your lining. And because we're going to start the assembly of both the lining and the main. Let's assemble the H2O to go sling. To assemble the sling bag, first let's do the main print. Put the raw edges on the sides. Bring them right sides together and stitch them down with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Might be a little helpful to put some pins. We're going to be repeating this step for the lining part, but for the lining we will leave an opening. This is where we'll be turning the bag. So we'll stitch about an inch and a half towards the top, and then about an inch and a half at the bottom, and then the center we will leave open. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and at the end of each of these 1.5 inch stitches, because you want it to be secure when you turn your sling. And again, I'm of the opinion that the bigger you leave the hole, the easier will be to turn it. So I don't care about the aesthetics inside the bag. I'd rather make it easy for me when I turn the sling. Let's add the bottom to each of the main and the lining. So I'm going to find the quarter marks. You can, for this step, you can also use the pattern piece that has the quarter marks added. And then I'm going to find the quarter mark on the sides, because I do have the other ones marked. And then match the two sides. I like to keep the seam allowance open. And here you'll have quite a few layers. So make sure if you're sewing this with a domestic machine, you go very, very slow on all these layers where the front pocket is. You can see from how big the clip opening is. So this is how it should look like. The Decoville Heavy is in the center. It's outside of the seam allowance, so that won't bother you. So now I'm going to start with the heavier part. And sew around. I find that it's easier to sew around if you have your bottom wrong side down, so flat. I find that it's easier to guide the fabric to avoid any puckers. And also keep your seam allowance for the center seam open to reduce bulk. Super easy, but again, go slow. We're going to be repeating the same thing for the lining. Mark your quarter points. And then the quarter points of there you go. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing. Keep this seam allowance open. I think I'm going to make another one with the other option. Instead of card slots, the patterns includes an option for a pen, a notepad, and a pen, like a little notepad, and the pen slot instead of the card slots. But I figured if I'm using this at the parks, then I don't have to grab my wallet, just get my cards and my pass and use these card slots. And my tumbler and my happy spots, and I am all set. If you're in the market for tumblers, custom tumblers, I encourage you to check out my friend Jamie at Emiluhu Creations. You can find her on Facebook. Most of my tumblers are from her, and they're amazing quality, and I can't wait to see if her biggest one fits in this, because I have all sizes. So again, I'm stitching around just like I did before. This waterproof canvas is not super hard to work with. I've been wanting to try this for a while, and then somebody posted in one of the groups that they got some at Walmart, and I checked and I did find it at Walmart. I had no idea. I thought this was a fancy kind of a thing that you have to get like in specialty stores, but no. My Walmart had it in like 5 colors. I went with gray because it's pretty neutral. But yeah. And it wasn't expensive. It was, I think, $5 a yard, and we know a yard of this utility fabric is wide, so it goes a long way. Okay, set your 2 pieces aside for now, and we're going to be creating the slots for your D-ring. Oops, I got 2 different D-rings. I need to change that. So I'm going to fold 1/2 inch towards the inside, like so, and then top stitch. You can use pins or you can use Wonder tape, or just hold it with your fingers because it's not a long piece. This will create a 1 inch piece that we'll be using it to attach the D-ring to the bag. This has a adjustable strap option. I think I'm not going to create one because I think I'm going to use one of my many adjustable straps that I've made for other patterns. Reuse, recycle. Okay, so you want to cut this piece in half, lay it like this, and then cut it in half. This way you can use it for your 2 D-rings. So you'll have 2 pieces like this, and let me figure out which one I want to use. I think I'll do the big one. These were part of a project pack. I want to say project pack 2 or maybe 1, I'm not sure. The unboxing for those is on my channel. These are so cool. And of course rainbow finish, because you can never have enough rainbow. So slide your strap through this, and you can pin it in place. You can use a rivet, or you can use or just leave it like this. And we're going to add it to the center of the side. So center it on the side like so, and we'll stitch it in place. I might add a rivet, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe one of those castle screw rivets that Wizardry is carrying right now. They're so cool. And of course we're going to repeat the same thing for the other side. And I'm going to stitch this down. You'll be putting at least a 20-ounce, if not bigger, tumbler in it. So you want to make sure that this strap is stitched in place very well, because it has to carry the weight of the water and everything else that you might throw in here. Beautiful. So last step is to attach the lining to the main, and for that I'm going to make sure that they're right sides together. So I'm turning my lining with the right side out and stick it inside the bag. This way the right side's together. And matching at the side seam. You want to pin in place all around the top. And now I'm torn between, oh, make sure that the D-ring tab is inside. So I was saying, now I'm debating between creating a new strap with the rainbow, maybe a double-sided strap that has like the woven on one side and the rainbow on the other side. I don't know. I don't know. But I'll think about it. So this is how it will look like, pinned in place. And we're going to stitch all around it with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Definitely lots of curves with this pattern. Pivot and go slower the strap is because there's a lot of layers. Beautiful. Let's snip the corners because you want to make sure that it lays nice and crisp when you turn it. And the last step, we're going to birth our bag through the opening that we just left. So grab the bottom. Bring it out through the opening on the sides. This shouldn't be too difficult. And push out the bottom. How gorgeous is this vinyl? Oh my god, so pretty. And then pull your sides out. Double check that everything is stitched correctly. No skipped stitches or anything like that. And then you can sew your side shut. You can definitely hand stitch this. But I just prefer to sew it with my machine. You know me by now. Let's push the lining inside. And I am not regretting using Decoville Heavy. It's nice and sturdy at the bottom. No regrets. There. I know the pattern said Peltex or Decoville Light. For me, it's Peltex or Decoville Heavy. That's why I went with Decoville Heavy. Alright, move your zipper out of the way, zipper tabs, so we can top stitch this beautiful part. And because I have rainbow thread in my top bobbin and gray thread in my top thread and gray thread in the bobbin, I'm going to top stitch it like this. Go slow where the strap is, because there's a lot of layers in there. That's it. All we have to do now is add the straps. You can use pre-made webbing to create your straps. You can use you can make your own straps with vinyl or with vinyl and fabric, whatever you choose. You can make them adjustable, or you can make them fixed, whatever you prefer. I haven't decided on mine yet. Oh my goodness, it's so adorable. So this is the bag open with my card slots. I will give it a good press so all these lines will disappear. Then the front pocket for my passport. I love Nikki's picture with the passport. It's so cute. It implies that I'll be actually traveling internationally anytime soon. It's so cute. I'll give it a good press with a nice pressing cloth because you don't want to melt the vinyl. And this is what it looks like. And this is where the bottle will go. Again, links, like always, links to everything that I'm using will be posted in the description below. The panel is from Backstitch Sew Flow. It's a woven panel. The vinyl is from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts. just as it is the rainbow thread and my hardware and the zipper pull. My lining is from Walmart. It's waterproof canvas from Walmart. And the pattern is the Linds Handmade H2O to go. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!